This video will prove that manifestation is real, and sometimes people can also manifest death, or just predict it ahead of time. Story number 1. It predicted 3 deaths to almost deaths, to relationships and some other odd stuff. It started around May of this year maybe. I had a really bad feeling on night, but it wasn't just that normal everyday anxiety. It felt like impending doom. I couldn't sleep for hours. My mind was stuck on it. I felt like something very, very bad was going to happen. The next day I tell my friend, who we'll call Myla. Myla said that's an odd coincidence because I had a bad feeling too. So I just tried to drink it off with wine. I'm not sure of the time difference, but either the day after or a few days. After she almost died from overdose, then my great-aunt dies soon after. On its own, sure coincidence maybe. I'm not sure exactly when, but months ago I bought this book about manifestation. I didn't entirely focus on this specific manifestation BC, I didn't write it down. But I started manifesting my dream man. Someone who I would spend the rest of my life with. Someone funny with black hair, dark eyes. A specific muscle twitch in his jaw, piercings, similar interests to me, etc. The point is, I was extremely specific. Around the same time I wrote in my notebook that I would see a robin. I wanted to manifest something simple to prove it was real. And I specifically drew a red-breasted robin because I never see these. That would come fly up to me while I am sitting peacefully outside. This will be important later. Fast forward to August. I find the love of my life matches my exact predicted description to AT and is perfect for me. Not only that, but is genuinely the most attractive person I've ever seen. And that may sound biased, but everyone in our social circle agrees he's extremely attractive. Not only that, but falls in love with me straight away. We have lived a few minutes away for 6 years and never saw each other, despite going to the same places and both going out a lot. And what was even weirder, he predicted me too. My features, personality, hobbies, everything. He even had a dream about me, but I won't go into detail because I don't want to make this too long. He unintentionally predicted the date he would find me in a random conversation with his friend a few months ago, mid-August, which is exactly when we got together 2 weeks after we met and is our anniversary forever. There were a few things that made it happen in mid-August. He went to camp and this girl was trying to keep us from talking. But when he got back from camp August 16th, it was the first day. We finally got to talk alone in person and freely. By this point I'd forgotten about the robin completely. I wrote it months ago. We connected as we already had because it was practically love at first sight. And while he was working up the courage to ask me out, he goes, "Hey look." I look to my right and I see a little red-breasted robin fly up to the log opposite us, while I'm sitting peacefully outside. I'm in shock at all the coincidences and has sitting very confused why I'm so amazed by this robin. He asked me out 10 minutes later into our conversation. Eventually further into our relationship we put two and two together about the predictions and everything. There's more details to that part, but I have a lot more to tell. About 2 months ago, me and my friend Myla are chilling in my room high, talking about my predictions and how everything I write in my journal comes true. I go, "How about we test it and make a new one?" We make a new prediction about our friend who we'll call Eli. She'd just broken up with a toxic ex, so I made a prediction. Eli will find a very loving boyfriend who she loves. They will love each other and live near to each other. They will find each other soon. Sure enough, within the next few weeks, she finds this guy. They are perfect together and still in love as of present time. I've predicted other small things in my notebooks, like my work, my social circle, etc. Fast forward to about a month ago, I get this weird feeling again. That this time it's worse. I'm out with my friends and normally am very happy and chill being out with them. But I suddenly start feeling off. It gets worse and worse, so round 30 minutes later I go tell Myla I have the feeling. She was like, "That's so weird, so do I?" And I asked when it started and she said about 30 minutes ago. We're quite nervous now because nothing good ever comes from this. And at this point we do believe in the feelings. We tell my friend group about the feeling the next day because they believe me. Because they know about my past experiences with them and the predictions. Very soon weird things start happening. It started small, like my boyfriend randomly throwing up. He was smoking, but he smokes a lot and never greens, and he wasn't greening then, and no, he wasn't sick. In the upcoming week, here's what happened. My boyfriend's cousin and his GF are trying to summon demons in my boyfriend's room. I greened for the first time. Off one hit I've taken much more, and that's never happened. My friend's girlfriend's mum dies. This may seem irrelevant, but they were both there when I got the feeling. And when they were leaving I said something to Myla about I hope they don't get run over or some. Not sure why, but something about them made me say it. Then her mum died. Overdose. Eli finds out her dog has cancer. It randomly dies the next day after she got a bad feeling in the morning. My boyfriend very nearly almost died. I genuinely thought he did die, and it traumatized me, because he is the love of my life. This is the week after, but thought I'd include. We find out my boyfriend's cousin has a plan to murder my boyfriend that's been debunked, though we don't think it's true now. Few of these can be considered coincidences, but I just wanted to include some of the other small things. It just got worse as the week went on. This is in chronological order, because it started with small inconveniences to death. Anyways, me and Myla make a timeline of all of this soon after that week. As we are talking about the predictions and everything, my relative comes home. We go hide the timeline quick. She puts it in my drawer properly and shuts it. I go talk to my relative and he tells me he just got into a motorbike accident that morning. We go back to my room to find the timeline hanging out of my drawer, but the drawer's still closed. We are flabbergasted, and I did take a photo of it hanging out, but even after we opened the drawer, it wasn't creased at all. No one else was home to move it. There's some other things like Myla's long-distance girlfriend turning out to apparently be a witch and thinking someone was doing bad witchcraft on us. They're broken up now, but she would genuinely talk about like the spells she used to do, but not in detail cause she was scared of Miller's reaction cause apparently they were that bad. Mine and Myla's only theory was us messing with a Ouija board a few years ago. To the Ouija board said I would die in a car crash at the age I am now. So fingers crossed. Anyways, just wanted a guy's input and what you think may be going down. Rational or paranormal, I'm open to all suggestions. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more true horror stories. Story number 2. Someone died so I could get my manifestation. As the title says, a person died in the bridge of incidents of my manifestation. I was in the process of resolving a big issue I had related to a property that was split between me and another person. I've manifested literally my whole life up to this point. So reversing a decision regarding property matters was supposed to be a super easy job. Unfortunately, the matter got out of hand and the other party declared that they under no circumstances were willing to proceed discussion for construction on this property. Here comes my mistake. I created a scene that perfectly implied my end result. Me telling my contractor that the co-owner miraculously changed his mind and we will be proceeding with the original plans for the project. I also added a scene of me telling my husband that I don't know what happened, but he basically changed his mind completely. He even apologized for how he talked to me. It's like he's a different person. Just the next day I listened to one of Neville's lectures, where he shares the story of the woman who in a similar way manifested the death of her neighbors. That led me to think that maybe I didn't focus 100% on the living thing and getting my results in the best possible way, and I went back and changed my scene to a better one. Guys, you have to understand what incredible power you possess because you only have to impress the subconscious mind once. Just 3 days after visualizing my first scene, I got the news that this person's partner passed away at a young age, suddenly and unexpectedly. I was in complete shock of what had happened, as it was never my intention for something like this to manifest. My heart is breaking for my friend and business partner, knowing what heartache I've caused him. Now he's come around regarding the property, and he's saying that this tragedy made him realize a few things about the way he's been living his life, and that now he's set on changing his ways, starting from the way he treated me. He even apologized for that failed business meeting. Everything happened just how I imagined. Whatever you do it lovingly. Would appreciate if any of you guys have some advice as to how I should deal with this situation. I feel so bad for my creation. I believe that no manifestation should come at the cost of another person's life. Story number 3 is manifestation really just intuition? I have a story. So, I'm familiar with that Neville story. At the same time, I've seen discussions in Neville and lower communities about the nature of intuition, and it seems like a lot of people believe that intuition is basically manifestation, as in someone is knowing a thing or event into being. This was well before I knew anything about manifestation. But in January 2015, I was talking to my sister on the phone. She mentioned worrying about our mom's health. I had no idea what she was talking about because I lived 1,000 miles away, and my mom had just visited me a month prior, and nothing seemed unusual. I don't fully know why I said it, but I just knew, and I told my sister mom will die younger than she should, and it will be painful like cancer with a lot of suffering, but relatively quick. 5 months after that, my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, one of the most excruciating cancers. Out of nowhere. She went to the doctor for suspected gallstones when the cancer was found on the ultrasound. It had already spread to her liver and was terminal. I knew enough about metastasized pancreatic cancer that it was a death sentence, and time was very short. I told my dad that if mom wanted any fighting chance, there is no waiting a month for biopsies and bullshit. Everything needs to start happening right now. My family told me to be patient. I was 1,000 miles away. Things carried out the way it did, and my mom passed away 4 months later at the age of 58. Maybe it was just a coincidence in the timeline. I don't know, but I've seen multiple times that there aren't any coincidence. I have no idea why I had that intuition. I don't know why I was so sure that I told my sister what I did. People in this community who believe intuition is manifesting would tell me I manifested it. People would also tell me that you can't cause death. My sister is still shocked that I knew months before anything actually happened. My dad thinks it's crazy that I knew she would die, but I just chalked that up to knowing some medical science and research statistics.